Simone! So my wife Jenna comes to me and says, Matt, you gotta do a video on Simone Biles. She dropped out of the Olympics because of mental health. And I was like, who's that? Like, I don't know things, all right? I'm irrelevant in this world. Olympics I don't really follow, but I looked into the girl. Olympic all-around champion. No big deal. What the She's Spider-Woman. Good God! What the hell was that? She's actually one of the most decorated and considered one of the greatest gymnasts of all time. I suck. Hey, I'm Matt from Matt Lane Fitness. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you sliding by. Every Friday, I put a video out about fitness, but at the core of everything I do as a trainer and a behavioral change specialist, I believe in mental fitness. If that is not in line, nothing else matters. The perfect diet, the best training program doesn't mean crap if that mental fitness isn't square. So when I heard this topic about Simone Biles, about her possibly dropping out because of mental fitness, I was extremely intrigued. I've seen headline after headline, but I intentionally didn't dive all the way into it. I just wanted to get some just barely specifics to see if this was even a worthwhile video, and from the little that I've seen, I'm pretty sure it is. All right, so let's see what's up here. Reigning Olympic gymnast champion and sports superstar Simone Biles has dropped out of the competition of 2020. What? Huh? I'm thinking that's a typo. Here you go. In an Instagram post on Monday, Biles said she sometimes feels she has the weight of the world on her shoulders. I would imagine. Let's just go to the source and let's just ask her.
Simone Biles dropped out of the team competition for Team USA. That happened right after the vault that she simplified her more complicated jump midair and landed awkwardly. She received the lowest vault score of her entire career, consulted with medical staff, and left the floor. Simone Biles offering this explanation afterwards.
I just felt like it would be a little bit better to take a back seat, work on my mindfulness, and I knew that the girls would do an absolutely great job, and I didn't want to risk the team a medal for kind of my screw-ups because they've worked way too hard for that. I know I'm going to be fine, but I can't risk a medal for the team, so I need to call it. And
so she hasn't mentioned one thing about an injury yet, which, I mean, there might have been an actual physical injury, but it sounds like the pressure.
You usually don't hear me say things like that because I'll usually persevere and push through things, but not to cost the team a medal. It's been really stressful this Olympic Games, I think, just as a whole, not having an audience. There are a lot of different variables going into it. And I think we're just a little bit too stressed out, but we should be out here having fun, and sometimes that's not the case. I say put mental health first, because if you don't, then you're not going to enjoy your sport and you're not going to succeed as much as you want to. So it's okay sometimes to even sit out the big competitions to focus on yourself, because it shows how strong of a competitor and person that you really are.
Oh, good Lord, Simone! Well, let's just hear that one more time.
I say put mental health first, because if you don't, then you're not going to enjoy your sport and you're not going to succeed as much as you want to. So it's okay sometimes to even sit out the big competitions to focus on yourself, because it shows how strong of a competitor and person that you really are.
Oh my God, that's so good.
An ESPN.com writer who's covering gymnastics for us over in Tokyo. Darcy, thank you for joining us.
I think just no one knew what was happening, and it was, well, is she injured? No one had noticed a limp or anything of that nature.
You know, I think it's such an interesting development, though, because the one thing we know about Simone Biles, besides her greatness, is her toughness. For her to make this decision to withdraw, Darcy, what does that tell you?
In a lot of ways, it's maturity. Here's the thing.
Hell yeah.
She says recently, all of a sudden, she started to not trust herself the same way as she used to, which is kind of crazy when we think about how fearless she's always seemed. You know, she said she really wasn't sure when she was asked about Thursday and whether or not she'd be competing. She said she didn't know. She was going to take tomorrow, see how things went.
Good for her.
Team officials after said they had a plan in place. One would assume it involves a sports psychologist with the team.
Wow.
I think she's just going to really have to see where she's at tomorrow and then make the call from there with what works best for her.
So good for Simone to, first of all, make the decision, because you have the eyes of the entire planet looking at you. The amount of pressure that you must have on you.
It's really beyond words. It's really incalculable.
You've been training your entire life. I know that gymnasts and Olympians, I mean, anybody that's at the Olympics, they've been practicing their sport their entire life, most of them. And I can't imagine that amount of pressure. But to have the balls to be like, hey, I'm tapping right now. What I don't like What I hate for her, and maybe there's something I'm misunderstanding, but what bugs me is to know that maybe this leg injury, wrapping the leg, was like a front. Maybe that was like, I gotta blame it on this for right now, which is extremely unfortunate because a mental health injury. I mean, this is what we're talking about. This high level of stress to where you feel like you can't handle it, you can't take it, it's not good for you. And Simone said it perfectly.
But we should be out here having fun, and sometimes that's not the case.
That is so great. I'm stupid happy for her. First, that she did it for herself. Secondly, it's a byproduct of her doing this, but she is showing that it's okay to do this. Mental health, mental fitness, there is still a stigma around it, although it has improved a lot nowadays, but there's still a stigma around it. I came across this video that was posted 3 weeks ago where Simone talks about opening up about being a sexual abuse survivor. Being sexually abused is an extremely common thing everywhere, but especially in the Olympics and people that they get close to around them, teammates, coaches, all that. So I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but that stress, that possibility has not stopped. So I want to dive into that real quick.
Before we even get into this, we need to issue a trigger warning because this video does discuss sexual assault.
Wow.
In the latest episode of Simone's 7-part docuseries titled What More Can I Say?, she opened up about being a survivor of sexual abuse.
All those years, nobody ever told us what like sexual abuse was. So we didn't really feel like we were going through it or we were victims.
Simone and more than 150 women suffered abuse from former USA gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar, who is now sentenced to life in federal prison.
I was like super depressed and like I didn't want to leave my room and I didn't want to go anywhere and I kind of just like shut everybody out.
She described sleeping all the time to avoid thinking about what she went through.
It's okay to say, I need help.
Damn right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like athletes are coming out of the woodworks and telling people it's okay.
Hell yeah.
Some of those things that shaped you into who you were, you can't change. And that's the reason why you are the way you are.
Yeah.
You can't erase them. So you have to embrace them.
She also talked about how she and her siblings faced food insecurity growing up and in foster care. Ultimately, Simone said her goal is to be an advocate and to inspire kids to believe in themselves and let their light shine.
I cannot This girl's a badass. Understanding that, like, I didn't know about that history of the team friggin' doctor, man. Like, God, what a badass to carry such a burden for the sport you love, to go through that, to continue the sport where you've been sexually abused. This is the point where I would typically plug some sort of program challenge or something I have going on with my channel or my business, but honestly, I'd rather turn the focus on Footless Jo. She's a fantastic creator. She has a side channel called Trauma Talk, and if you are a victim of sexual abuse, domestic abuse, I think she's a fantastic resource. I highly, highly encourage you to check her out. I will plug her channel in the description below, but she's just fantastic, and she talks about this very thing, and I applaud both Footless Jo and Simone Biles for stepping up and really doing the much more difficult thing, and that is telling the truth, being honest, being good to herself. And if you'd like to help get this message to other people, this positive piece, if you hit the like button on this video, if you interact in the comments, that's going to tell YouTube to push this video. Interaction helps a video. Yes, you're helping me, but you're also furthering this message. So if you don't want to do it on my channel, go do it on Trauma Talk. This is a very good thing for sports, for mental fitness, for the Olympics, for Olympians. I think it's a fantastic thing. I hope that the far majority of people, if not all, are doing nothing but supporting her. And if there is anyone out there that's throwing anything other than love at it, then I gotta tell you, you're a real piece of... Look, you don't have to be perfect at this mental fitness thing. Just be better than yesterday, every day. Simone Biles, if you see this video, thank you. Thank you first for taking care of yourself, and then as a byproduct, taking care of yourself sends the message that other people should and could do the same thing, that it should be acceptable, that your mental fitness absolutely should come first. Thank you.